So I got to thinking about my trilobite and where it lives and how it moved and how it could be in my backyard. I started thinking to myself, this thing has lots of different properties. It's got kind of scaly skin on the back. What are some animals today that might be similar to this? Maybe some that live on land. So I found one. Let me introduce you to my buddies. Come here, buddy. This is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. On your worksheet, there's a link to a movie that talks about Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Jungle Bob's been selling them for a long time, and he knows quite a bit about them. I'll try to get one of these guys out, and we'll talk about it when you're done. The Madagascar hissing cockroach is a really cool bug. This is a male. I know it's a male because it has these little horns on its head. I don't know if you can see that. It's got these little horns that stick out on the top. Males also have a little bit longer antenna and are kind of cool looking. They're actually the only ones that actually hiss. So if you get them a little bit upset, you can actually hear it hiss. I don't know if I can get one to do that right now. But I would really love to bring these to your classroom and show you. So maybe talk to your teacher and see if I can get over there. But the Madagascar hissing cockroaches live in Madagascar. Madagascar is an island off the coast of Africa. They live in a tropical climate. Lots of trees to climb on, lots of things to hide, lots of places to hide, and food to eat. So their habitat is warm, very tropical. If they get out here in Iowa, they probably won't survive because we have pretty harsh winters. So the Madagascar hissing cockroach is a really cool thing, and it's very similar to the trilobite in terms of having the serrated back here, kind of like the trilobite had. However, these guys don't float around in water. They don't swim. They don't bite, and they make really kind of cool pets because you can just play with them and they crawl around on top of you, and they're really kind of fun to have. So let me know if you want to come out and touch one of these things. Let's think about the Madagascar hissing cockroach's habitat for a minute. What are some traits of this cockroach that would actually help it survive in its habitat? Can you put that down in your worksheet? What are some things that if this thing were in a forest or in a jungle, what are some things that would actually help it survive? See if you can't figure out a couple of things. So every animal has its own habitat, or place that it calls home. The trilobite lives underwater, and it lived millions of years ago. There's actually certain fish that live in the oceans, where it's salt water. Those fish can't live in lakes around here, where it's fresh water. Each habitat is very specific to what an animal does. I'm going to read a little reading about habitats and the human habitats on what we used to do in order to make the places that we called home, and then how that's changed over time. So I'm going to read on your worksheet. I would like you to follow along as I read. Ready? Let's do it. Every plant and animal in an ecosystem depends on the other plants or animals for its survival. For example, a butterfly depends on the flower's nectar for food. At the same time, the flower depends on butterflies and other insects to spread its pollen. Thousands of years ago, early humans were like all other living things in nature. They were just another part of the natural food chain. They hunted animals and gathered plants for food. They made shelters and clothing using the materials in their environment. Most importantly, they used only what they needed for basic survival. However, humans also had the ability to create and use technology. At first, they used simple technology, like tools made of stone and wood. These tools made it easier to hunt, build, and do other things for survival. Over time, technology improved. Humans learned to create and use machines. Instead of hunting animals, they learned to raise animals, like cows and chickens, for food. Instead of gathering nuts, berries, and roots, they learned to grow their own crops. In other words, humans learned to change and control some parts of nature in order to meet their needs. With technology, humans were able to change the environment. The land in this picture may have been a forest or a natural grassland. Now instead, it's a wheat field. Insects and other organisms still live in the soil and feed on the wheat plants. However, it's not what you might call a natural field. Humans planted the seeds in this field, and humans decided when to harvest the crops to make food. The land beneath any town or city was once a natural ecosystem. Then humans came along and used technology to change the natural environment. There are some trees, grass, and flowers in the city, but they're only there because people want them there. Some animals, like squirrels and birds, also live in cities alongside humans. But these creatures had to learn to survive in an environment created by humans. Now, with all of our cities and technology, it's sometimes easy for us to forget about nature and ecosystems. It's easy for us to think of nature as something we can visit, but not something we're really a part of. So you can see that we've actually changed habitats for animals by creating cities and houses and golf courses and all those other things. Do you think the animals like it when we change their environment? Are they able to survive as well when humans change things around them? There's a couple of questions on your worksheet I'd like you to think about, and I'll see you next time.